performed across the country for his audiences ranging from 5 people to 2,000 people, and he is excited to share his poetry at the BIS Slam.
I cannot remember the last time I was this nervous before performing. Yes, and it's all because of them. Genuinely, though, it's such a pleasure to perform at this slam. Second time attending, first time performing. Okay. If you don't like it, and if you have criticism of this poem, keep it to yourself. Hide it from me. This is the story of a group of children who were told by their teacher on the 45th day of the war that if they drew a star on the pavement, it would help save someone's life. On that day, a boy in class had just found out that his father had been injured in a civilian bombing. The man had been sitting in his car when a shell burst in through the window and lodged itself into his chest. He was now fighting for his life. The boy in question, his name was Sarlinath, and the other kids used to make fun of him for that, the way kids do, behind his back. But on that day, they didn't. Because they understood what he was going through, and they felt what he felt, and the whole class was feeling down. So the teacher, just to make them feel a little bit better, told them that if they drew a star on the pavement, it would help save someone's life. Draw a star for your mother, she said. Draw a star for your father. And a kid sitting in the back of the class asked, what if I want to save my uncle too? What if I want to save my neighbor's father too? Can I draw 4 stars? Can I draw 5? And the teacher said, well, you can draw as many as you'd like. So that day, while leaving class, the teacher left 3 big pieces of chalk on the classroom table. And the next day, when she entered the school, she saw the pavement outside the gate covered almost 25 meters each way in little stars, in pink, blue, and yellow. And the other kids saw this too. And they wanted to know what this was all about. And when they found out, they stole little pieces of chalk from their classrooms too, so that on the 3rd day when the teacher entered, she saw the pavement outside covered in all 3 directions surrounding the gate in little stars. But the kids didn't stop there. No. They took pieces of chalk home with them, and where there were no pavements, they drew stars on signboards and stars on park benches and stars on the barks of crooked trees. And the neighbors' kids saw this, and they wanted to know what this was all about. And when they found out, they took pieces of chalk home with them from their school, so that it came to a point where you could not go to a single place in the city without seeing at least 1 star in a corner somewhere. A month after that first day, it rained. It rained and it rained all night long. And the next day, when the kids went down to board their school buses, they saw the streets covered in chalk dust, congealed and dirty, layering the streets and the pavements like icing on a cake. And the kids began to cry because they knew now that the stars were gone, no one could be saved. But the mothers came down. And the fathers came down with their mops and their brooms. And on that day, no one got to office before 12 noon because everyone was busy cleaning up the streets so that the kids could start again. And they did. So that it came to a point 1 month after that where the streets were crowded and traffic was slow because everyone walked on the streets now. No one walked on the pavements anymore. And everyone carried a little piece of chalk in their front pocket. So that any time, every once in a while, if they had to hop onto the pavement just to save their life from a speeding car that was passing by, they would stoop down and make every single star perfect again. When the war ended, there were stars everywhere. There were stars on billboards and stars at bus stops and stars on the dust caves that had been formed on the roads by bombs. There were stars on hospital walls and stars over each and every patient's bed and stars in pink, blue, and yellow on the streets, which once had been stained by the blood of the dead. And thousands of years later, after thousands of apocalypse predictions and thousands of general re-elections and thousands of celebrity remarriages, when the world finally did come to an end, the last group of survivors who stood huddled together among the burning buildings and collapsing roads swore that they saw through blood-stained and tear-filled eyes the ghosts of a group of children running around everywhere, coming up to each and every one of them and drawing stars on their chests. Thank you.